Howdy, my name's Tony Nestor. Thanks for joining the show. I make my living as a full-time survival instructor here in northern Arizona, where I teach courses ranging from 3 days to 5 weeks for the general public and also military units from around the world who come here to participate in our training. During the unfolding of these YouTube programs, I'll be presenting a variety of tips and skills that I've learned and used over the last 20 years of teaching. These are going to range from short-term survival, what to do if you're lost a night or two in the wilderness, to more long-term survival or bushcraft skills, living off the land and how to be more self-reliant in the wilderness long-term. Largely, we're going to focus on desert survival. You know, if I were to go through my map collection at home, pull out my topographic maps and just randomly pull place names off the topo maps, you would find names like Hellhole Canyon, Death Valley, Skeleton Mesa. These are not good names for a desert. I mean, the desert is a very beautiful place, but if you are not prepared, it can be a brutal, unforgiving environment. Now, most people, when they think of the desert, they think of lack of rainfall, lack of water. Certainly that's a prominent feature of a desert. There's not a lot of water out here. That's why it's called a desert. But we have other features too that typify this region. One is high wind. I've been out here when there have been 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, sandstorms. Got a corneal abrasion in my left eye a few years ago when I took off my goggles to check out the map during a sandstorm. So it can be brutal here. We've had vehicles blow off the highway because of the high winds. I'm not kidding. It's extreme. We also have lack of vegetation. You know, there aren't a lot of resources in the desert. Some deserts are better than others. The Sonoran Desert, very lush, gets a lot more rainfall than the other deserts do. Here, in the Painted Desert region where I'm standing, we don't have a lot of resources for keeping a fire going all night. We don't have a lot of resources for tremendous shelters, big shelters like you do in other regions. So lack of vegetation is another feature. We also have this thing called evapotranspiration, which is a fancy term for, you know, the fact that when rain falls, it doesn't stick around in a puddle on the ground for 3 or 4 days like it does back east. It evaporates quickly. So here, evapotranspiration means that the evaporation rate is 20 times the precipitation rate. It doesn't stick around long. It might be gone in a few hours or overnight. We also have extreme heat and extreme cold. I've been out on courses where it's been 117 degrees during the day, and then at night in other regions I've been out where it's minus 25 degrees at night. So yes, you have the potential to go from heat exhaustion and heat stroke and dehydration during the day to hypothermia and frostbite at night. So you've got to be prepared for both realms. The desert is a land of extremes, and it requires specialized gear, some specialized knowledge to do well in and adapt in. We've had a few fatalities here over the last couple of months here in Arizona because people came here and they weren't prepared. Some of them happened right near the city, right near Phoenix. Others happen in the Grand Canyon or out further in the Painted Desert. So you've got to have not only enough water, but some of the specialized items required for desert travel. So let's look at what some of that gear should be, what some of those survival kit items should look like, and some things you can do to enjoy yourself and be safe in the land of little water.